He used to be a power lineman, and then he quit his job to do wholesaling full time. 3 months in, the guy's closing $300K a month. Closing and funding, not projected assignment fees BS.
What happens when you let the wrong customers in?
They expect to become overnight millionaire. They want 3 a.m. phone calls, and as a result, if they don't close $100,000 per month, they request refunds, and they'll tell all their friends, which are also beginners. But I don't really fault them that much. I will fault myself more because I let them in. I didn't really have a relationship with anybody in my family. Like, I fully cut them off. What really turned the needle for me was, I remember right before New Year's, I get an email from my dad telling me that he got into a motorcycle accident.
So what else was humbling?
Oh my gosh, 3 or 4 months. We were just spending like 20, 30 grand a month in marketing, just getting nothing. I was actually in Hawaii when these bad moments would happen, and I just questioned everything.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors, where millionaires are made. Today we have Ben Hoang back with Bolt Deals, and Ben flew in from Austin to talk about the 3 hacks you need right now to earn $300,000 a month or more. Guys, I want to mission create millionaires. The information on this show alone is enough to help you become a millionaire in the next 5 to 7 years. If you will take consistent action, you will become one. If you're already a millionaire, we want to recognize you here, so please scan that QR code to let us know. We may even feature you here on this show. And before we jump in, if you're here to learn how real entrepreneurs are building real empires, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because every week we're dropping lessons that can create your first or your next million. And right now, you got 100,000, 250, maybe even more just sitting in your CRM. Resurrect all your old and dead leads with the objection-proof AI calling agent. Text CASH to the phone number 33777 now to unlock the money that's just sitting in your CRM. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So a lot has changed. You were here about a year ago, and a lot has changed in the last year. So let's go ahead and talk about what's changed. We'll start off with the personal side, and then we'll hit the business side. So what's been going on?
The biggest thing on the personal side, and I read a lot of the comments from the last podcast.
That's sometimes a dangerous thing.
It is. But one of the things because when I watched my own podcast again, I'm like, okay, I could see how people would perceive me this way. Because one of the comments that really stuck out to me, and I can't remember who it was, but shout out to them, was like, hey, this guy might get a little bit too far ahead of himself. So focus on being humbled. Last year definitely humbled me in all aspects of my life,
really?
for sure. And so doing little things like establishing a better relationship with my family, getting closer with God, my mindset of not only business, but my personal life has gotten a lot better. The biggest issue that I had last year was that I was also working my ass off 24/7, 365 basically. And it got to a point where I don't want to say burned out, because I feel like saying that I burned out is like I don't know if I could swear, but a loser term. But I started to prioritize doing other things outside of work, right? So I started finding hobbies like, one of my dreams growing up was to become a pilot. So now I'm a student pilot, right? Going out, hanging out with friends more. Like, that was never a priority. So actually doing things on top of work has definitely made me a lot happier. So yeah.
It's actually kind of funny because I had you on the show, and once it went live, there's a marketer I know. I don't know if you've met him since, Daniel Neef.
Daniel who?
Neef. So maybe not, you haven't met him. So he sends me a DM, right? He's like, hey, I know that kid. He's in my apartment complex. I was like, yeah, that's right. You are both in Austin. So, but anyway.
Really?
So it was like, yeah, it's cool to see that kid. We bump into each other in the elevator every once in a while. So it's cool to see him on your show. We're in a different marketing mastermind together. So you talk about, the first thing I want to hit on is that people are commenting and they kind of ate at you a little bit. So I want to touch on that.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things that can really be dangerous. I wouldn't even say it's a double-edged sword. I think it's just it can be dangerous. Like, you want to receive feedback, you want to grow, you want to learn, right? And you have to have humility. But at the same time, you can also take that information and not spiral, but go in a different direction than what you had originally intended.
I understand. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
So I agree. But the biggest reason it bit at me is because I knew it was right.
Got it.
So in the raw version, as from what I remember, is that he said this kid is basically too arrogant. That's probably not what he said, but that's how I perceived it. I'm like, I remember which point in the podcast he's talking about. It was the part with me talking about my teachers and my family. So I remember, I was like, yeah, he's absolutely right about that. And I've realized how that part of me, that trait that I have of being somewhat arrogant or not being humble has been in other aspects of my life. So like that's one big thing that I took as feedback. I understand what you're saying when it comes to spiraling it out of control. But for me, the reason why it bit me was that I knew he was right.
Yeah. Where else has that impacted you?
Not being humble and arrogant. I have a lesson that I wrote down for myself last year and one of that is don't burn bridges that don't need to be burned, right? There are some times where I've had a business partnership, let's say, just went wrong, and I would just tarnish the entire relationship, and I would go out of my way to just, because there's a way to where you can just leave it there and just move on from it. But the mistake I did was just try and tarnish that relationship and ensure that I would never do business with them again, because I believe that, people are able to change, and maybe one day in the future he could come back. But the mistake that I made was that I just totally tarnished it. Now, for this specific case, I look at that person and I'm like, cool. He's still not in the best spot, so I don't think I would do business with him. So that's the biggest thing.
Okay, so now I have to ask, how did you burn that bridge?
I should probably give context. So this person was a pretty big influencer in Texas. I'll say that because if I tell you the city, you probably know exactly who it is. And I'm not going to say he hasn't helped me out when it comes to scaling my business. Like, he's given me referrals, he's given me partnerships. And it got to a point where the clients he was referring to me were doing so well that he became a client as well. But the mistake with that is that I didn't charge him. And as a result, he would over leverage me, and I don't want to say my kindness, but like our resources for him and his business. And then it got to a point where I was like, hey, I actually want to charge this guy because he's making a lot of money off of me. That's when things started spiraling downwards. We shut off his campaign, his marketing. So his entire team had 0 leads because we were his only source of marketing at the time. And it just spiraled down from there. I'm like, hey man, we're never ever going to work with you again. And that's the
turn off the marketing and turn off the PPC, or were you also funding his marketing?
The PPC. He was funding the marketing. I don't fund the marketing.
I mean, it seems like that'd be something really simple for him to resolve. But you're saying you just like, I'm not going to work your leads at all, or I'm not going to work your campaign at all.
Correct. Yep.
Got it. And you're saying that tarnished the relationship.
Yep.
Got it. Did you give him an opportunity to fund it, or were you just like...
I asked him. He's one of those guys where he's like, hey, we'll give you these lead lists. He was trying to, what is it like? I don't know if freeloading is the right term, but he was like, hey, we'll give you
bartering?
this.
Was he trying to barter?
Yeah, bartering is the right term. He was like, I'll give you this list. You can do this. I'll give you this and that. And I was like, I just don't need any of that. I want to get paid.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
Yeah.
And then so you're saying like spending more time with friends and family, which is a very different direction we're talking about this show, because this show, we almost never talk about friends and family.
Yeah.
Right? Or faith. We generally talk about like business tactics and strategies and so on.
Yeah.
So then I guess, how did that help you? Like getting closer to friends and family.
So I'll start with my family because that's the easiest one off the top of my head. For me, if you were asking me on the last podcast what my relationship with my family was like, it was non-existent, right? I didn't really have a relationship with anybody in my family. Like, I fully cut them off. But I would speak with one of my mentors. His name's Joe. And he told me the importance of, and it's crazy to sound, but the importance of having your father and keeping your family in your life, because, he doesn't live. My parents will not live forever. And I think that, I will eventually regret it. And what really turned the needle for me was, I remember, I think it was New Year's. So that week right before New Year's, I get an email from my dad. Like, that's like, my dad wasn't even texting me or calling me anymore. It got to the point where he was emailing me, telling me that he got into a motorcycle accident. And that scared me because I'm like, okay, like a few days ago, I was like, oh, if something bad was to happen, it is what it is. And I don't think I'll regret it. I don't think I'll regret this decision of not talking to my family. And then this happened. And it was almost like, oh my God, it could happen. And that's when I snapped out of it. I'm like, you know what? I will give this relationship another chance. And I do not regret it at all.
Okay.
Yeah. When it comes to my friends, growing up, I was a social person, but when business started taking off, I didn't really care about the social aspect much. But something that's so simple that I realized is that when I hang out with people that I genuinely want to hang out with, in other words, people that talk about business, that care about basically surrounding myself with better people, I genuinely enjoy it. So it's added a lot of it. To me, it's almost like a mastermind because I have some of my friends in Austin where I can talk with them and I get nuggets out of them that help me get better in other aspects of my business, my personal life, investments, things like that. So now I prioritize that a lot more. So like this podcast, we'll say like Wednesday, I fly back to Austin on Friday, and then me and my friends, we're going straight to Colombia, right? To have a boys trip basically.
Got it.
So little things like that is what I've come to realize going into this year, because last year I got to the end of the year and I was like, I'm not really proud of the things that I've accomplished this year. Like, cool, business made money, whatever. I live in a nice place, but like, that's it. Like, I didn't really, what I would consider live life. I didn't really travel that much. I didn't really hang out with friends that much. And that's the biggest thing that I went into this year focused on changing.
Yeah. I mean, the questions I have for me, for myself, is that how much is this because it's what you want, and how much of this is because like you felt like you have to do. There's living the life that you want, because like, you know, the feeling I got in our conversation last time was like you're very, very intentional, right? Like here is what I want to do, and then you do it. Yeah. Which is like your choice.
Yeah.
Right. So again, the question goes back to like, well, how much of this is like you're doing what you want to do, and how much is like I feel like I have to do this?
Great question. So if we were to talk about the friend side, I want to hang out with my friends. Like I have seen, I see and I get value out of it, and I genuinely want to do that and more. The thing with the family part, in the beginning, it was like I felt like I have to have a relationship with my father. And then transition to like, okay, maybe I should continue to build this relationship with my father, because now I'm taking him on like little experiences. Like he'll come to my apartment, he'll drive from Houston to Austin, and I'll take him to a flight lesson with me, and it's like really cool, right? So like little things like that. We'll go look at the penthouses in my apartment, and obviously he's never seen anything like it. So like that in itself is like a really cool experience, and I'm like, okay, well maybe all this like hard work and things that I've worked for is now worth it, because now he can see like what I've accomplished, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So,
and what about business side? I mean, so we talk about the personal.
Oh my God, like, so much has changed in the business. We restructured so much. So on the front end, I think last time we were talking, I had a full-on sales team. The mistake about that is that salespeople have commission breath, as you know. So the constraint we ran into is that we were bringing on customers that truly should not be customers. And that's a very bad spiral, right? Because when you bring on the wrong customers, client success becomes a pain and bad things happen. So I focused and I started stepping back into taking appointments and building real partnerships with our clients, because I found out that a lot of them will come through our YouTube or our social media or even this podcast, for example, and they would want to work directly with me. Right. So I'm like, okay, well, I will be the one that not only works with them on the front end, but I'll work with them on the back end as well. And what happens out of that is that whenever a client does get a result, I get them on the podcast. And because I have that rapport in the relationship, we're able to create great podcasts, great testimonials, great ads from it. So the biggest leverage, highest leverage thing from it was that fact that I stepped in a lot more, because in 2024, I was basically removed from the company. Like I wasn't doing anything on the front end. I wasn't doing anything on the back end. I mean, I remember waking up at 11 p.m. every single day. I'm like, what do I do with my life?
At 11 p.m.?
11 a.m. 11 a.m. every day. Like, what do I do with my life? Right? So for me, I've gotten a lot more fulfillment stepping in and actually getting into the nitty gritty, because I've identified that my goal of this company is like, I'm not planning on selling this company. Like this is a thing that I've been doing since I was 15. So for the last 6 years, and I don't ever see myself selling this. And I know that I will do this for a very long time, whether it's working with wholesalers or other ventures, as well. So that's a big one. The content side, we stepped up a lot of that, and we focused a lot more on that.
So hang on before you do that. You don't have a sales team anymore?
Well, I have setters and stuff.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So you have setters, because like you run Facebook ads.
Google
ads.
But yes.
Okay. So you run ads, people click on them, setters talk to them, book the call with you.
Correct.
And then, I mean, how many appointments are you getting if you're the only closer?
I'll only get like 2 or 3 a day. I don't take much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with a 2 or 3 day, like you're good.
Yeah. I mean, I close half of them. half of our clients hop on. Yeah.
Well, I don't question whether you're going to close them, right?
Yeah.
Like the owner of the company generally is a pretty good closer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know you're already passionate about sales from our last podcast. The question is then like, I guess this is a business more in line with the company you want to have.
Correct.
Versus the company you had before.
Correct. 100%. Because, for example, we'll have a client like, his name is Brent. He joined us, I think, end of March last year. 3 months in, the guy's closing $300K a month. Closing and funding, not projected assignment fees BS, right? And I found, because he used to be a power lineman, and then he quit his job to do wholesaling full time. And I was like, I got to experience the entire thing from A to Z. Like, that's cool, right? So like seeing stories like that is like, okay, well, this good stuff outweighs the bad stuff, right? The benefit far outweighs the fires in the business. So, which is why I find it so fun for me to stay in the nitty gritty. Because I've been doing this for so long. It's like, I know how to handle things. Like if a client's, a little upset and automation broke, I'm like, fine, like I'll step in, right? It's not the end of the world. So, I mean, I've been doing this for so long. I believe that I've seen a lot.
So, you get rid of the sales team, you're running the appointments, you're running it how you would want to run it.
Correct.
I guess then going back to the content side, what's changing on the content side?
We focus more on results and case studies and stories. So like, for example, one big thing that's really worked for us is not only documenting and sharing the client result, like, oh, we scaled this client from 0 to 200K a month, but also sharing the storyline behind it, right? And that not only gets our clients deals, it helps get me deals, right? Because one big thing that we focus on is not only helping our clients with the paid marketing side, so like the Facebook retargeting, but also helping them get JV deals, right? So going back to the quote unquote client funnel, they become a client, they get good results, they hop on the podcast, and then people from watching the podcast will try and do JV deals with them, which gets this guy more deal flow. And when he makes more money, he pays me more, and then we all win. So it just becomes like a flywheel in a way.
Gotcha.
So like that's the biggest thing that I've focused on creating content for.
So the content now is really more about the client's journey in here, and we're doing more of this. So Ben on my team, he's our marketing person, and we're adjusting. Right, our messaging, and it's basically, I feel like he's just watching Alex Becker videos.
Okay.
Right, and it's like, hey, like this is what we need to be doing. It's like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right, which is just, hey, like let's just talk to our top clients, figure out what's working for them.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Right, highlight them, and then more will follow because the client is going to have more success.
Yeah.
We get to celebrate their success, which raises their status level.
100%.
So they're happy. And then B, as we're talking, people are like, oh man, like that success that they're having, I want to have it too.
Exactly. So it's like speaking to that avatar. I mean, whenever for you, like you're selling AI softwares to wholesalers, which is your primary audience. For us, we do marketing services for wholesalers. But I mean, the message of like, hey, if you're an established wholesaler trying to scale, like you need inbound leads, like that used to crush. Like 3 years ago, that was like the thing, right? But now what I've noticed when it comes to marketing and what's worked for us is going specific, like even deeper, because there's like specific data points on the type of client you want. So for us, what we did is we surveyed all of our clients and we sorted by like top spender and who stayed with us the longest. From there, I'm like, cool, what are the pillars from this guy that we can use in our marketing to target more of these people? For example, one of the data points can be like a virtual wholesaler that's targeting 3 to 5 states, right? Another one could be if you have an acquisitions team with if you have more than 2 acquisition managers on your team. Another one is like, hey, if you have a $10,000 per month marketing budget. So little things like that, because not only do we do that on the B2B side, we do that on the B2C side, right? So business to consumer side for our clients. So, for example, a big common thing when it comes to PPC, especially in the wholesaling space, is everybody likes to run we buy houses, cash offer as is marketing. And that works. It's great. The only thing about it is that it's a little too saturated. So for us, what we do is we focus on targeting specific motivations and pain points, right? So people that are going through foreclosure right now, tired landlords, people that just inherited property. Because whenever we run that as
Before you get down that road, talking about the avatar, 'cause I think it's an important point.
Yeah.
You mentioned keeping the wrong customers out.
Okay. Oh wow. You drifted.
It's a business principle, right? It's one of the hardest things to stay disciplined to.
Yes.
So what happens when you let the wrong customers in? Like, what did it do to your business?
Okay. So when we bring on the wrong customers, onboarding them is a lot harder, right? So for example, the tech, a big one. Like you bring on a beginner, like the guy has zero tech stack. So I'm like, okay, well, we can't integrate anything. So we have to set up a whole different thing just to try and get them onboarded.
And like they don't have a CRM.
Exactly. It's like, okay, fine. What, do you want to use spreadsheets or what? The second one is the expectation setting, right? And I'm going to take responsibility for that. Like that happens on the sales side. The expectation does not start on the onboarding side. It starts on the sales side right before they pay, right? So you can't set expectations properly. I mean, you can set them. They just won't like absorb them, right? They complain the most.
A lot of lessons from very early, really young guy.
Yeah. So like expectations, like they expect to become overnight millionaire. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just that the amount of support, like they want 3 a.m. phone calls and it's just, it's a lot. Right. And then as a result, if they don't close $100,000 per month or in the first month, they request refunds and they'll tell all their friends, which are also beginners. So I'm like, okay. So it's a big headache for lack of better terms. But I don't really fault them that much. I will fault myself more because I let them in. So it's not their fault. It's my fault for letting them in.
What do they do to your company?
They would leave bad reviews. They would tell other people. I mean, we have a good amount of nightmare clients. I don't try to refer to them as nightmare clients. I more so refer to them as learning lessons. And I think that's the best way to put them.
All right. So then it sounds like you're pretty clear on not letting the wrong guys in.
Oh, yes, 100%. Very, very clear on that.
Yeah. All right. So then going back, so we talked about good customers, right? So it was like $10K a month spend, 2 reps or more. And then the third one was at least 5 or 6 states. So you're pretty clear on who your avatar is.
5 to 6 what?
States.
Oh, yeah, markets. Yeah.
So you're pretty clear on your avatar, who they are and who they're not.
Yeah.
And you brought the same mindset to the house buying side. So we buy houses and so on. Okay. Saturated. So how are you describing what the good customer?
You're talking about sellers.
You were talking about the foreclosures and this and that.
Yeah. So like we know like for on the B2C side is what you're referring to. We like to target people that are going through that specific pain point because they're more likely to operate with urgency, right? Less retail shoppers, ideally deeper discounts. That way we can get bigger assignment fees. That as a result helps our client lower lead to contract rates, faster deals, faster payback period, whatever you want to call it. So that for me is the biggest, not even only selling point, but impact when it comes to client results. Yeah.
How are you identifying them?
How am I identifying
people in foreclosure?
Oh, great question. So long tail keywords.
When I say that, because like you're doing PPC, right? So it's not like you're pulling a list.
Yeah, and then script. Yeah. So the biggest thing, it breaks down to a few things. So the first one is the actual keyword itself. So we run like stop foreclosure in Dallas, Texas, right? So that's the keyword that ideally we want to add, and we run phrase match and exact match. And then when it comes to the actual ad itself, we would add that message in the ad itself. So whenever somebody searches it up, they click on that ad, and then on the landing page, it would say stop foreclosure in Dallas, Texas. So the entire point of the ad is to sell that click, and the entire point of the landing page is to convert that click into a lead. And then whenever they or the acquisition manager calls that lead, there's alignment and ideally a higher close rate.
Right. So what you're talking about is the consistency, right? Like the things we talked about in the past or different episodes in the past was breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Right? So the idea is like, hey, like, you know, like the color, and you're doing Google, so not the same, but like on a Facebook ad, right? Like the colors on your Facebook ad should be the same as the colors on your landing page.
Yeah.
Right. So like, there's got to be consistency from like the first message all the way to the last message, all the way to maybe even like, you know, when your sales guys talk to them.
Yeah.
Right. Is that enough to make like a big difference? Because it feels like that should be like not necessarily elementary, but not necessarily the most complex either.
Okay.
Like it feels like everyone, if they're not doing it, should be doing it right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like The Facebook stuff, the colors, I'm sure it matters. I don't focus much on Facebook. We do a little bit of like retargeting on it. In my personal opinion, because I see so many other agencies out there that are like, oh, Facebook and YouTube are better than PPC. And I'm just like if we just think about it for
That's a pretty bold claim.
It is. It is an incredibly bold claim. Because if we think about it, it's like a seller's going through a pain point. They're not going to sit on Facebook or YouTube and wait for an ad to pop up. It's like if your plumbing breaks, right? Are you going to sit on Facebook and scroll until you see a plumbing ad? No, you're going to go on Google and find a plumber near you, and you're going to click on it and call them.
Right.
And you're more likely to pay them a little bit more for the convenience. So it's just like that claim of Facebook, which is Facebook and YouTube, which are disruptive-based marketing platforms, is better than an intent-based marketing platform, is just complete. It's BS, right?
So elaborate on that, because not everyone understands the difference between intention-based and disruptive marketing.
Yeah. So disruptive marketing is exactly what it sounds like. It disrupts the flow of what you're doing to ideally capture your attention, right? So on Facebook, as a perfect example, you're scrolling on Facebook. The thing is like you scroll 3 posts and the 4th one is typically an ad.
I feel like it's the first one these days, or second one.
Yeah. Like even that. So you're scrolling, you see an ad, and then, pops up. Hopefully it's bold, catches your attention. And maybe if that applies to you, it resonates to you, then you'll click, right? And then on Google, the reason why it's more expensive and the lead quality is a lot higher is because you're going out of your way to open up your computer, open up Google, type in the keyword, click enter, look and scan the ads, click on it, and then fill in a form. So it's like, the psychology behind the psychology behind a lead that comes in through Google is going to be way higher and more intentional as opposed to an impulse Facebook. I mean, you can sneeze on a Facebook lead form and you'll fill it out. It's like, it just makes no sense to me.
And I bring that up because like for other examples, right? Like traditionally disruptive marketing is like TV commercials.
Exactly.
Right. Radio ads and so on. Or even, these days, or the last few years, text messaging.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talk about the business side, right? So getting rid of your sales team. So no closers anymore.
Yeah.
Rebranding your marketing. What else has changed on your business side?
We've leaned down a lot, right? So one big, really incredible thing that I want to say it's pivotal, but one change that we've made on the client success side is we used to have a client success manager and or coach to work with our clients that has been a wholesaler that scaled his own company and scaling our clients' companies. We started realizing that our best clients don't really care. Like our best clients that are already doing 10, 20 deals a month, they don't need a coach, right? They typically are in some sort of mastermind and they get their coaching there, so they don't really use ours. So a part of our my discovery is that our best clients, the ones that are getting the most results, that are spending the most money, they don't use their coach. So why is he here? He's here for the lower guys. We're trying to get rid of them. And once we get rid of him, we let go of him as well.
That's a big change. Because I remember in the last episode, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Exactly.
That's cool he has a coach for his clients.
Exactly. So what we did now is we realized that our clients pay us to get them results with the marketing. So we let go of that guy. And now instead of having a middleman where we're playing telephone with the client, our clients speak directly with the person, the marketer that's running their ad campaigns. And that as a result is shorter feedback loops. That way we can iterate and move a lot quicker. So that's another big one. And then the podcasting with clients. That JV thing has been incredible. It's crazy. I don't think I've seen anybody else do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other things too, you said, last year was very humbling. So what else was humbling?
Oh my gosh. Andromeda from Meta. I mean, you can feel like 1 month before Andromeda, as an example, before I really understood.
Before you go down that road,
explain.
Let everyone know what Andromeda is.
Okay, so
because I spend a lot of money marketing. I know what Andromeda is.
Yeah. So Andromeda is so for those that don't know, a lot of our primary client acquisition source is referrals, content, or Facebook ads, right? Or paid marketing as a whole, Facebook, Google ads, right? I just summarize it into one. Andromeda is basically an update from Facebook that changed the way ads are being pushed out to users, right? And as I define it, I just really care about the solution of it. But the solution to Andromeda was, instead of launching 5 creatives once a month, letting one rip and calling it a day, you have to 4 or 5 8x the amount of creative volume and production. So Facebook or Google or Facebook, excuse me, if Andromeda's on Facebook, can correctly identify which are the best ads for the right users, and as a result, push it to that person. So, I mean, I think it was like 3 or 4 months that we were just spending like 20, 30 grand a month in marketing, just getting nothing. Like it was, yeah, it was so bad. And I'm asking my mentor, I'm like, hey, like, what do I do? Like, this is not good. And as a result, obviously we found out, you know, that taught me a lot, because during this time, it was around summer of last year, I was actually in Hawaii when these bad moments would happen. And I just questioned everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, should I like just pivot over and do something else? Like, should I just stop doing marketing? And I'm like, well, if it's a marketing issue and I'm a marketing agency, technically I should solve it, right? Because that wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, it's a lot of aspects like relationships, right? I learned a lot about relationships, and I'm so happy that I learned about relationships young in my life than, you know, married, kids, etc.
Right.
So things like that, yeah.
So then what did you figure out with Andromeda?
The answer to it is more and better creatives. So me and my creative director, Aaron, we have a saying where it's max effort, right? And I can't remember how, I think he just said it one day, but our solution for Andromeda is more, better creatives. Like, we know that the creatives that work best are testimonial creatives, right? Client results, testimonials, results, numbers always perform the best, because from my experience and our campaigns, the marketing campaigns of like the, you know, hey, if you're established, we'll help guarantee you deals, whatever the case is, it doesn't work, because a lot of marketing agencies burned up the market. Like, everyone and their mom has worked with at least 2 different marketing agencies. So that like trust level is just so low. So the only
Gone. It's not low. It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, exactly. So what we find that works best is people that have results, and we market those results. In addition to that, it's something I want to add to that is that the type of testimonial that we have and we put out there attracts a very similar client. Like, for example, we have a middle-aged white guy that's, you know, he starts doing 5 deals a month and he's doing 20 deals a month now. We typically bring in a client that's very similar to that, right? So that's a big thing that we focus a lot on. So if you like pull up our ads library and you look at our marketing, it's literally just testimonials. And maybe we'll have one where it's like us reacting to a testimonial to like explain what he said deeper, or like green screens where it's like, oh, we have a like a client result or a client deal board, and I will like react to it or something. So testimonials for us work amazing.
Gotcha. So there's a solution.
That's the solution to Andromeda. So for the viewer watching this, their action item I would use, look at your best ads, right? Look at what ads you've ran in the past that worked well, that generated revenue. Focus on revenue, not just cost per lead or cost per call, and create as many variations of that as you can, right? Whether it's changing the headline, reacting to it, whether it's turning it into a text ad, whatever the case is, just do that and launch as much as you can consistently.
Yeah.
You miss 1 week and there goes your ad account.
And so that makes a lot of sense for B2B, particularly in the numbers, results, and so on.
Yeah.
But not so much B2C.
B2C, right? The biggest thing for me that has worked for our clients on the Google ad side is it's 3 pillars, right? I break down to the messaging of the ad, right? So type of people that click on our ad and what they see, the landing page to qualify the lead, and then I call it pixel conditioning, right? So when it comes to the messaging, like I said, no more of the We Buy Houses generic ad stuff. It worked for the last 10, 20 years, great. New age of marketing, I think it's not gonna work anymore, right? So I like to focus and be more specific to the motivations and pain points of the seller. And then the landing page, right? There has to be correlation between, like I said, the ad and the landing page in order for the seller or B2C, the consumer, not to get, say, skeptical, because sellers are definitely not, willy and trusty, and, they have skepticism as well, especially when it comes to wholesalers and investors, home buyers nowadays. So keeping alignment there. And then pixel conditioning. This is a big one. So the way it works is we take data from the client CRM and we set up an automation to send that data back to Google to train their algorithm as to what's working and what's not. So over time, the campaign, the tag manager, the Google Pixel, whatever you want to call it, it just gets better and better and better. So those are the 3 big things that I focus on for client results.
All right. And so we were talking about earlier the 3 hacks, 300K.
Yeah.
Have we touched on it or is there more?
That's the biggest thing when it comes to the marketing side. The sales and acquisition manager side, I'm not the person to ask for help when it comes to building a sales team. I will share what I've done and what our other clients have done, but that is not my thing. My biggest thing on the marketing side is those 3 big things, because I know that if I can solve a client's marketing issue, assuming their acquisition managers can close and their dispo can actually sell, that part is solved.
Pretty major assumption.
Why do you say that?
Assuming their closers can close and then the dispo can sell.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. It's yeah, that's fair.
That's a pretty big question mark, because like the reality is, like, we've been doing the sales training, right? Like, we've been doing it for 7 years now. We've coached, we've worked with hundreds of business owners and coached thousands of salespeople. I am surprised the resistance we get to sales training, not the clients that we do have, but the clients that don't want to buy our program. They're generally held hostage by their salespeople.
What do you mean?
Hey, like, here's what we do. Here's the results our clients are getting, and so on and so on. So I was like, yeah, that's cool, and I want my salespeople to get better, but I don't know if they'll jump on the calls. I don't know if they'll follow a sales process.
Okay.
So like, that's generally the reason why people don't buy. Is like,
do you think that's a talent issue, like a hiring issue on the operator side, or is that just like where do you think that stems from?
It's a fear of their salespeople, right? Like they don't have the right people, right? So they have hustlers on their team, right? And hustlers are great. So hustlers, there's a season for hustlers.
Okay.
Right. And it's when you're smaller, right? Like, hey, like, you're a closer. Like, let me just go and bring you on and we'll just work together.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll close deals.
Yeah.
But at some point, as you grow and scale, like, you don't need hustlers. You need professionals.
Yes.
Right. Professionals, people that are going to call the leads, people are going to follow up, people are going to follow a sales process, right? People are going to document what they're doing, people that will do a smooth handoff to the TC and Dispo team, right? Like, you need all those, but not everyone has those.
Yeah.
And so they're like, I don't want to hire this because I'm afraid if I pay for this sales training, they're not going to jump on, and now I've just burned the money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a major assumption. It's like, oh yeah, assuming they got good closers.
Yeah. I mean, that we can
there's no
dive
guarantee
deep
there.
into that. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now you're hiring acquisition managers that don't want to get better? Like, what? They don't want to make more money?
That's exactly it. I mean, there are people right now that are listening and they're like, yes, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you're working with how many clients are you working with right now?
A little over 40.
Over 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're seeing you're seeing what's working for them. So what are for their sales team, right? Because you're saying we've got we're sculpting the leads so that they're better quality.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to a more targeted, intentional, situation-based marketing.
Correct.
So what is working as far as then you're seeing from your clients? Because what I like about what you do is you don't just hey, in your marketing, we're done.
Yeah.
Right. Like you want to get nitty gritty, get deep into it. Right. So then what else are you finding as a trend or consistency in your clients as they're growing their businesses?
So the second big, really important thing for me is data, right? Like whenever I speak with a wholesaler and they don't have their metrics dialed in, like they know their cost per lead, but that's what Facebook's reporting or Google's reporting, right? They don't know what, I have a metric that I call MQL. It's basically a marketing qualified lead that they track. So it's like if, for example, you generate 10 leads and only half of them are qualified, that means your cost per MQL is actually double. So now you're operating off the wrong metric. Having to know what is your cash conversion cycle, payback period, whatever you want to call it. That's how I know, cool, how long can we operate until we actually get a closed deal? The metrics that I care about, as a marketing agency, the metrics that I care about, I want to know what your cost per marketing qualified lead is, right? Or whenever I'm working with a client, I need to know what their cost per marketing qualified lead is. Because cool, Google can report a $150 cost per lead, but if your qualification rate is 50%, that means your cost per MQL is $300, right? And then from there, I want to know what is your lead to contract rate, right? How many leads does it take to actually convert into a contract? The reason why I say contract starting out is because a deal has not closed yet. But when a deal has closed, fine. We can know that it takes X amount of leads to convert into an actual deal, right? So it's a leading metric because most contracts, assuming I bring on the right client, should convert into a deal. customer MQL leads contract. I need to know the average assignment fee because this gives me a rough ballpark of what the max allowable cost per deal can be, right? If your average assignment fee is $10,000, we can't pay $5,000 for an acquisition. Like that math doesn't make sense. And then average assignment fee, cash conversion cycle, I already mentioned, and then obviously return on ad spend, right? So these metrics, I look at them and like, cool, I know what to do to take this business to the next level.
So then, let's say I'm your client.
Okay.
Right. So you're working for me. I'm in the Phoenix market. I want to buy houses in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I have these leads, right? You know, like you're in charge for a lot of these leads.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The MQL.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily in charge of the cash conversion cycle.
No, I'm not.
Right. And you're not necessarily in charge of the leads per contract.
No, that's your sales team.
Right. So then what are you doing? Like, you know, you got a team that's like, hey, like their leads per contract is really bad, or their cash conversion cycle is like 6 months on a Google PPC. Like, what are you doing?
Okay. The great point. That all starts before I bring them on as a client.
Okay.
If I'm talking to a client, they don't know what those metrics are. I know I should not bring that guy on. Like, it's a fire waiting to happen.
Okay. So part of your like,
enrollment is making sure they have their metrics.
Let's talk about that, right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm on your website, right? I'm on Bolt Deals. Is it boltdeals.io?
Yeah. Boltdeals.io.
All right. So I'm on boltdeals.io. I fill out the form, right? Mm-hmm. Your setter schedules a call. I jump on the call with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like right out of the gate, you're like, what are your KPIs?
Well, the setter's actually asking you.
So the setter's asking questions. All right. And I say, I don't know.
We'll probably disqualify you and you will not hop on a call with me.
So there will be no sales call.
No,
if I don't know my KPIs, there's no sales.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. That to me is just, Steve, when I tell you I've learned my lesson, I have learned my lesson. I promise. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's pretend then I do know my KPIs.
Right.
Right. But my cash conversion cycle on Google PPC is 180 days. I know, I love this face, right? So like, so what's this conversation gonna be like?
Okay, so the first thing I'd ask you is, why do you think your cash conversion cycle is that long?
I don't know. It's just really hard. Like these leads are just really difficult to close.
Okay, difficult in what way?
Sometimes they don't want to answer the phones. You know, like I call them, they don't answer. So then like my team calls them like a week later, and then maybe it's a couple months, and then we finally get a hold of them.
The first thing I'd wonder is like the marketing metrics. I'm like, how is that even possible that Google, because
I know those are bad numbers. That's the reason why I'm asking.
I know. Yeah. And I understand that. So first thing I try to look at is like, okay, what is the root constraint as to why this is happening? Is it because the PPC campaigns absolutely suck? Like let's start there, because it's, you know, marketing comes before sales, right? You go to the top of the funnel. So I look at your marketing. I'm like, cool. What do your marketing metrics look like? When you say the lead quality is bad, what about it is bad? Is it because they want retail? Is it that they're not answering? Whatever the case is, right? And then from there, we just work our way back to find what the root cause is. And then from there, we can make our necessary plan of action to solve that.
Yeah.
But if your cash conversion cycle is 180 days on PPC, I want to find out who's running that campaign is the first thing I would do, and open up that campaign.
What is it good for those that are listening? What is a good cash conversion cycle?
I aim to be under 90 days.
Under 90 days.
That's lead coming in, submitting on your CRM to close and funded.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So before we were recording today, you mentioned you had one particular episode that was your favorite episode this year that you watched.
Mm-hmm.
Talk more about that.
It's your episode with Tommy Mello.
Okay.
Yep, A1.
Why? Because like I feel like that was like such an underperformed episode, which is frustrating because like I thought it was like a very, very valuable episode. So why did you like this episode?
So I love Tommy because he is an incredible operator, right? He took I've been watching Tommy for like 3 years now. I remember when he still had a few thousand followers. He hopped on a small like virtual podcast, and I just see like garage doors, $200 million. I'm like, oh my god,
that doesn't add up,
huh?
Garage doors and 200 million,
exactly.
Like, that doesn't add up.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard of anything like this. Like, because when you think of home services, you only think of like HVAC, plumbing, and roofing. At least for me, right? And I was like, okay, I watched this, and I just think about the way this guy talks, and he's like incredible. Like he talks like he's big on marketing. The big thing that I love about him that I've even caught on is that when he comes to a podcast, he always comes with a notepad. And the reason why I think that's so like that caught my attention is because he in my eyes, has accomplished a lot, right? He's big company, I would say very, very well. Like I aspire to accomplish what he's accomplished,
Many of us do.
and he's still a student to the game. Like
Yes.
that to me is like just mind boggling. And the way he breaks down concepts it's very dumbed down for people like me to understand what he's saying. But overall, I mean, I've watched a bunch of his podcasts. There's one he had with Hampton, My First Million. Like every single podcast that comes out and Tommy's in it is just, I learned something from that guy every single time.
Yeah. Oh, he's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And then what are your long-term goals?
Great question. So I recently made a big investment into a company that I'm very, very excited about. And simply put, it's getting into private equity, angel investment, venture capital. And the reason why this came about is because in my quote unquote challenging phase of last year, I asked myself, I'm like, what do I really, really want for my life? And I started with the personal side. Like, what are some material things that I want in my life? I live in a nice place already, but I really want a jet.
You really want a jet?
Like a jet, like a private jet.
Okay.
And people ask me, it's like, why do you need a jet? I was like, great question. To me, a jet symbolizes two things. Number one, it's freedom. I can fly from here to Austin or Austin to here in a snap of a finger. I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, I was at the airport from like 9 a.m. and I arrived here around like 5 p.m. That's 8 hours. I plug into my ForeFlight. It's basically Google Maps for pilots. It's a 4-hour flight. So I'm like, I wasted 4 hours being at the airport when I could just hop in the plane and fly myself. So the first thing is freedom. The second thing is I'm incredibly excited to become the person who is worthy of owning a private jet. Most people know that private jets are not cheap to operate. And for me to be able to own one, I have to be somebody that's worthy, that can actually use and justify the jet. And I'm a pilot. So it's like a race car driver without a race car. Like, it makes no sense. So going back to the point I was trying to make, I asked myself, like, what do I really want? I was like, what is going to get me to a private jet as quickly as humanly possible? My goal is to get one before I'm 25. So I have 4 years, right?
All right.
Can the marketing agency get there? Possibly. Do I want to scale my agency to $1 billion? Probably not, right?
It's pretty tough.
Yeah, exactly. It's very tough. It's very
I
tough.
don't know. I can't think of any marketing agencies outside of like New York.
Yeah, like Gary Vee, I think from what I heard in a vlog that he did, they do about 500 million. Yeah, and he has like Coca-Cola, all these big companies. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can, that's big. Yeah, so for me, it's getting into bigger plays. We're the big boys. I think about like, what are the boys at the top doing, right? It's always some form of private equity where if they buy businesses, hold them, holding company style, or venture capital / angel investing. And I'm like, cool. Now it gives me a reason to not blow my money on dumb things, and I can just invest it. Learn to be patient, and one day, hopefully, it becomes a big paycheck.
Yeah.
So that for me is like the biggest next thing that I'm trying to dive into.
It's actually kind of funny. We had so I'm in group text. It's me, Ryan Pineda, Kong Lee, right? And so,
Okay.
And so Ryan just does this text just randomly at night. Like it's not active, but like it just sends it, and it's like I can't believe it's been 5 years. And it's 5 years. So like when you were here last time, I was in our Tempe office, right?
Uh-huh.
And we did this thing in the parking lot. It was me, Ryan, Kong, and Sam Prim, right? And it was just like, hey, like we're talking about social media, real estate, right? And like how it goes together.
Yeah.
Right. So that was that whole deal. He's like, man, I can't believe it's been 5 years. And he asked me like, what's the biggest lesson you learned in 5 years? Like, man, the biggest lesson I learned in 5 years is just like start a company, generate a lot of revenue, and then like exit. Like
Okay.
if you can exit like that, that to me has been the biggest lesson because that's what I've seen. Like the reason why being a realtor, being a real estate broker, and wholesaling is like they're great for active income, but you can never sell it. Yeah. Right. And so when you were saying, what's your biggest lesson? Like I would say that was the number one. And after we went back and forth, like he agreed the same.
Yeah.
He had the same exact perspective as well. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I completely agree with what you're talking about in that, in the angel investing and getting into that world. So what are you doing to immerse yourself now in that world?
In the angel investing VC side. So obviously I got the funny story of how I got on your meeting. So I invested in Objection Proof AI.
Right.
It is the biggest investment of my entire life, and I'm incredibly excited for it. I mentioned to you that I've gotten really religious and closer to God last year. And one of the biggest things that I prayed for is opportunities. And the story behind my first meeting on that call with you and Stella was I had a meeting actually no-show.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
He's like, man, it's crazy. Like I had a no-show, so like I just jumped on the call.
So I go over my email, and the first thing I see is like angel investment opportunity, something like that. I was like, cool, Steve Trang, know this guy, like why not? This is basically what I've been looking for. So I click on it, Zoom link. I join the Zoom link, and I go through the things, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And then after 2 or 3 days talking to my mentors, and I'm like, hey, like I really, really want to do this. Like, tell me a reason why I should not do this. The biggest one that they said is about risk, right? A side note I want to add on to this is because when I was going through this spiral of wondering what I want to do with my life, I had a conversation with an entrepreneur. He's done over $100 million in his businesses. And I asked him, I'm like, I don't really know what I want to do. Like, can you help me and tell me why I'm not growing, right? Summed up his answers, it came down to 2 things: opportunity vehicle and risk, right? The opportunity vehicle I have, can it get me closer to a private jet? Possibly. Is that really what I want to do? Not really, right? And the amount of risk. And the analogy that he gave me was so almost like profound. He was like, think about it. When you started business, you threw everything at the wall. You tried this, you tried that, you took a lot of risks. But 6 years later, you already know what to do. So you don't need to take as many risks. And as a result, your growth stagnated. So going over to this, I'm like, cool. The opportunity to invest in your company, the pros and what I could possibly get out of it far outweigh the cons, right? So I'll just, did I say the amount? I said the amount.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I'm curious, because you went through mentors. You talked to, sound like multiple.
2 of them, I believe.
2 of them, right? So what were I'm curious now, what were the reasons for investing with me, and what are the reasons not to invest with me?
Great question. So the reason, I'll start with the why I invested and what I believe I could have gotten out of it. So the biggest reason why I invested in it is because the check size is something I could afford. Like I could afford that. I know how I was going to get that money, and I know how I'd get it back, right? So the first thing is like about investing is like, can you invest, or excuse me, don't lose money, and that's about it, right? And don't forget rule number 1, right? So it's about return of capital than return on capital is the saying, right? So I'm like, okay, $25,000 was my investment, and first thing I asked myself was like, or they asked me, it was like, if I lose this $25,000, will I live under a bridge? I'm like, no. Like, cool, box is checked. The second thing is, do I believe in the operator, the opportunity, as in like, market size, and the product? I'm like, yes. Like, yes, you did a very good job on the webinar, and sell it too, because I had a second call with her asking her to like tell me stuff, because she actually does this. So I'm like, that box is checked. And I outlined like the pros and the cons. The pro is that this is something that I've been praying for, and I really, really wanted. So I'm like, cool, check. The second thing is like, how can I make sure I get my money back as quickly as humanly possible? There is like, I've seen the product, and I'm like, cool. What if I got my clients on this, which will get me my money back? The affiliate model, right?
Yeah.
We win either way. Third thing is like, cool. How can I use this without using any of my cash? And I'll explain what I mean here. I set up a whole life insurance policy when I was literally the week I turned 18, right? So like interest rates are super low. So I have a decent amount of cash value in there.
Wow.
And I use that money to fund this. And I'm like, cool. If I lose this $25,000 my investment, well, death benefits, subtract, I'll be fine, right? Third thing is I can use, say, a month of cash flow and or using this podcast, using the clips to pay for it. So the finance checked, right? The second thing is the opportunities. Something that was really big and very important to me is that I'm nowhere near the level of like Sequoia or like these big companies, these big funds, right? So I'm like, but what I can do is document and record my way to hopefully something to that level one day, right? Yeah. And it'll justify the jet, anyways. So it's the opportunity and the people that I get to meet. So talking about making this investment, it's like a pivot into the brand, because I want to be able to talk about something I'm actually doing. Because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm thinking about it. I don't feel good about talking about things that I don't do or have no proof or expertise in, right? So the content I know I'd get out of it, because I'm actually myself documented this entire thing. I've documented parts of or I would talk to myself like, hey, this is why I'm making this investment. Like, here's what I think is going to happen. And then I'm recording myself like sending in the commitment, right? I'm documenting, I'm going to like later today, I'm going to document wiring in the money. Like I'm documenting the entire thing. So it's going to be great content. I think this is something that I truly want to watch. So that is those are the biggest things. So the money, checkbox, the connections and opportunity. And the third thing would be the potential case study. And what I mean by this is, God willing, if this goes the way we want it to, I now have a case study, right? And from that case study, I hope to use that to get more deals,
right?
And rinse and repeat over and over again.
What are the arguments against investing?
It's purely just risk. It's like, hey, like, if you lose this money, what? Like that's the end of it.
Okay, so it was more of a risk thing. It wasn't like, here are the reasons why this is a bad idea. It's more like you got to be.
I mean, a SaaS company that's profitable, 2.5x ROAS, day one cash. I'm like, oh, okay. Churn is relatively, realistic with room for improvement. I'm like, okay, well, check that box. Yeah. Opportunity to expand into other verticals, home buying and then insurance, and then you said home services with
insurance. Right now we have, it's pretty cool. We got now multiple, even more industries, right? Like some service providers are getting involved.
Kind of like what industry, if I may ask?
Like the real estate investors, right? Like,
oh no, like service providers, like
so maybe like a Bolt Deals.
Oh, like a marketing.
Right?
Okay.
Or we have like, now we have, because we talk to these influencers like, hey, like we need to promote the product. It's like, hey, while I promote the product, can you like build one out for me? It's like, yeah.
Okay, I see.
Right. So we're already starting to expand even that way, just organically. This isn't even like through marketing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one thing I loved. It's like the brand, and I'm like, okay, the goal's to exit. Like, I love this. Everything sounds good.
No, it's going to be great. And like right now, like the way we have everything positioned is we're slated to blow up. And then, we got someone else that's interested in investing. And like, if they come through, then it's like,
yeah,
then we're going to have an unlimited budget to go to the freaking moon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
100%.
we got someone that's on the hook. Can't talk about it yet, but if it goes through, then it's like, we literally have no limits to what we can do.
100%. And I guess the thing that I'll ask you is, I don't even know if we could talk about. Oh, another thing is like you mentioned. I'm not gonna get too specific, but I know you're gonna know what I'm talking about. This is the current like angel seed round, right? And then you mentioned that there is a plan to raise another round.
Yeah, Series A.
Exactly, like that to me. And I looked at the equity value. I'm like, well, that makes sense, right? It's exactly what I was looking for. And I tried to sell myself out of it, and I couldn't do it, because if you want to sell me on anything, the easiest way is about consequence. Like you asked me, what if you don't do this?
Yeah.
Right. And I looked at it. I'm like, cool. Timeline was another big one, right? Your timeline to achieve this certain outcome, I was like, this is great, right? For me, it was, oh my God, I almost forgot my train of thought here. I was talking about the timeline and the
Series A component.
Yes, that part. So it all made sense. So I'm like, it's like, oh, consequence. That's what I was talking about. Something that scares me is looking back in X amount of time and be like, damn it, I had the opportunity to do that and I didn't do it.
Yeah,
and for the price that I invested in it, I was just like, it's literally a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, the vision here is like everyone that missed out is like, I had a chance to invest in it.
Yeah.
Right, and I missed the window.
Yep.
It's not like we're not talking about it. Like we're pretty loud and obnoxious about it. What else are you doing right now to go down further into this angel investing world?
Content's a big one. Networking in the sense of like in Austin right now, there's an event called South by Southwest. So there's like, or on the business side, there's a lot of like startups. There's a lot of founders wanting to obviously raise capital. So going to those events, shaking hands and meeting people. A funny thing that I've also started doing is my feed now is basically private jets, motorcycles, and startups, right? So when I see a startup that looks interesting, I'll literally just DM the account. I'm like, hey man, like I'd love to connect. Here's what I got doing. I leverage a lot about my age and my marketing expertise. And that's something I actually wanted to ask you. And this is just for me to learn. from what I understand, private equity, they buy businesses, they use their expertise and their resources to scale it up. What about investors? Like, do I have the opportunity to like share what I have working so you guys can grow? Like, if I have a marketing playbook that I know works for scaling companies, could I share that with you and then you guys implement that and grow?
Absolutely. I mean, that's 100%, right? I think that's what, I mean, you look at like, there's a couple different people I look up to. So Marcus Lemonis is the one that, did it.
The Profit, right?
The Profit, yeah, right. And I watched that show. I was like, man, he's got 50 different businesses that he owns. He owns between 20 and 50% or 60% of all these different companies.
Yeah.
And it's an ecosystem where they all feed each other, right? Because he's got a printing company, he's got what's the word I'm looking for? It's the design company, right? So like you go to him for logos, and then the logo site you go to his printer site, right? And then from the printer site you go, it's like wherever you want to put it out publicly, right? He's got 50 different companies that all feed each other.
Yeah,
it's like, man, that's pretty cool. I want to have that someday. And then now these days, everyone kind of knows Alex Hermosi, right?
Yeah, because Hermosi has the private equity arm, the advisory, and he recently opened the ACQ Ventures arm. Like, he's one person, obviously a lot of people look up to. Two other people I really, really look up to is Steve Bartlett, so Diary of a CEO, and Jake Paul. Jake Paul has Anti-Fund, and I mean, you go on his website, you look at the stuff they've invested in, and it's just incredible. Yeah. So those are the two big, I guess, inspirations that really got me into this space.
Yeah,
because I realized that the people at the top, it goes back to cash flow quadrant, where it's like there's an employee, there's like solopreneur, there's the entrepreneur, and then there's the investor. The person at the top is always the investor.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how can I step into that? And again, it goes back, funds my jet.
Right. Yeah. And so like the whole venture capital deal, right, is you just got to put 10 out there
and hope one sticks.
And as long as one pops,
carries the entire fund.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, it's great. I mean, and that's eventually where I think I would want to get to as well. I got this thing I'm working on right now, but definitely temptation. It's always like, man, like I can go do this, I can do that. I was like, no, like, let's focus, let's blow this thing up.
I guess another question I'll ask for you is, what, from your experience, makes a good angel investor / investor?
So I think, traditionally, because I'm not in Silicon Valley, right? So like, part of me, I'm envious that you're in Austin, because like I listen to the Moonshots podcast, right, as well, and All In, and these guys are all in Austin.
All In is awesome, yeah.
They're all in Austin now, right? Because like California basically got rid of all their billionaires.
Yep.
And now they're in Austin.
Yep.
Right? It's like I'm over in Phoenix. Like, man, like what kind of deals do I have access to here? Like, there's not a lot, But like in Austin, like that's where they're all at. Like you can now potentially run into like David Freeman, David Sachs, right? Like Elon Musk. Like
David Sachs, is that no, that's David Solomon. I was thinking of Golden guy.
Yeah. But like all these guys are now in Austin.
Yeah.
So you could like potentially you have a like, oh, that's that guy over there.
Yeah.
We don't really get that so much here. But yeah, so going back to your question about the angel investors, the things that we traditionally look for is network.
Okay.
Right? Like, so for example, the reason why Stella is so awesome is that she's already raised the Series A.
Yeah.
Right. And I got another guy I'm talking to right now who wants to jump in. It's like, tomorrow's the last day. Like, if you want to jump in, like tomorrow's literally the last day.
Okay.
Right. He wants to jump in. It's like, okay, cool. And like, he's been involved in a real estate tech fund. So I was like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, if you're in, then you can open all the doors, right? So the angel investor is like, who's the guy that can get me to Series A? And the Series A, who's the one that can get me to Series B? And the Series B, who's the one that can get me public?
I see. Okay. So it's purely
That's why like Sequoia, right? Like you don't go to Sequoia until you're like B, right? Like you don't go to Sequoia as a seed fund.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So those are, that's what stuff I'm learning about.
Okay. And then the relationship wise, because my perception, I was like, cool, I invest in this company and I want them to grow. I want to do whatever it takes to make this company grow. For you, what do you think that investor / operator part relationship looks like?
I think that I mean, for me personally, it's going to be sending updates and like, here's what's going on, and then like when you see things like, hey, like you should consider this, right? Here's what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Right. Because I have that like so. Stephanie Betters, right, was one of the earliest advisors, right? She's got left main, and she's like, hey, like, because she knows like I want to be big in Salesforce, so she's like, hey, here's what's going on with Salesforce. Here's something you should pay attention to Salesforce, right?
Okay.
Because that's the world she's in. So like everyone's got like whatever their niche is in, like, hey, you should pay attention to this, so that I have a better lay of the land.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
Because my focus these days is basically all AI, right? Like Ian's in charge of like building out the sales area, but I am all day, every day inside of like Claude or building out our phone systems or this. Like this just is very, very technical.
I see.
What I'm operating in, and like helping the rest of my company get really deep in AI. Like everyone in our company now either has a Cloud account or is going to.
Okay.
That's kind of where we're at.
I see.
And I actually built out an AI assistant for everyone in our company as well.
Wow.
So this is kind of like where my head's at, because like everyone's got to be 3 to 10x more productive. And what we're seeing here is like, if you don't want to engage in AI, that's fine.
Yeah.
But our first core value is growth mindset. So if you don't want to engage in AI, that's fine. You just no longer get to be at this company.
I see. That makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, I think so. For me, I got my head down. I'm all on AI, and I'm making everyone in our company use AI.
Now that brings me to another thing. Team. That's, you asked me, because now they're slowly trickling in. Like another big reason I invested was the team aspect. You and your brother and there was another guy. I think 3 engineers
me, Ian,
or something.
And Patrick's the other engineer. So
yeah. Like that to me, I was like, okay, well, good. They're not just GPT wrappers and call it a day.
No. Like we're pretty close. Patrick shared an update with me on Monday, so a couple days ago. Like we're pretty close to getting getting an LLM that we can start working with, and then that changes the dynamic, because now because everyone else is building on top of GPT or this or that and whatever. It's like, no, we're gonna have our own deal.
Yeah,
that's proprietary that other people will pay us for.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And then we talk about, like, I remember one of the questions me or somebody else asked you was like competitive moat. So like, cool, what's the difference between this product and competitors, right? And you mentioned that LLM thing. I'm like, cool, not a GPT.
Yeah, we're not just built on top of we're not doing what everyone else is doing.
That's good. Yep.
We're building our own thing, and it's fortunate, right? And I've said this before. Like I'm incredibly grateful that I have an engineering background.
Yeah.
And then I was able to recruit my brother away from Intel.
Wow.
Who is really smart about this as well. And then the other thing too, really fortunate is, I have 4 younger brothers who are I have 5 younger brothers total. One of them already works for me, and I have 4 other ones who are all really smart, and we're all in the same Discord, right? So like they're all software engineers.
Wow. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So my mom and dad did some good things. So yeah.
That's good. 6
sons, all engineers, and then we can all compare notes. Like, hey, like one of them, like when OpenClaw got big, it's like, hey, like you should go create this and go sell it, right? And so he did.
Oh wow.
Right. And another one, the other one, the smartest of all of us, right? He's the one that he works at Amazon, and all day, every day, he gets to work on AI, like working on curing cancer. So like,
whoa.
So like I have a pretty good resource.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good to hear.
So we're a third now, or a quarter now through the year, right? So you were saying like 25 was a pivotal year, humbling, learned a lot of lessons, and had to basically rebuild yourself.
Oh yes.
Right. So then, like, how is 26 looking for you now, and what are you most excited about?
If you're asked, the most excited thing about actually stems in the personal life. I have this term, I call it life maxing, where you basically live life to the fullest, right? So for me, that's experiences. Like I want to get a motorcycle. I want to get my pilot's license. I want to travel the world more, in addition to working on the business, right? Because if my personal life is miserable, I carry that into the business, right? So like right now, I'm traveling right now. I'm away from home. I wake up early, nice and early. I get work done, and I'm going to find something to do later today, right? Little moments and experiences. And I'm sure Jesse Itzler's big calendar.
Big ass calendar. We have one in our hallway.
Yeah, so I have the notebook version, like the planner version. So like the way I use that, I bought it, going to the new year, and it has this like, you have your Misogi, you have your 6 experiences, and then like 4 habits or something. So it's like I'm using that, and my flow about it is like I try to have one business win and one personal win / lesson every single day. So at the end of the night before I go to bed, it keeps me accountable to make sure that like, cool, if today I wasted today, I'll write that down. I'll put a red calendar on it, or a red like sticky on it, and I'll make sure that like tomorrow I actually do something. So just taking it day by day and living life to the absolute
literally
fullest.
Living day by day.
Yep.
Okay, so we were talking about like private jet, investing in companies. So Have you found any other companies you're investigating right now?
I had a client approach me about investing in this title company. Only thing is I don't really know much about title companies. So I'm exploring that right now. And then I had one of my close friends in Austin. He has a community, like a Christian community in Austin. It's called B-Stud. And like their plan is to create events and run conferences with big Christian artists, things like that. So he's brought that up to me. He shared the vision, but little things here and there, nothing like, here's.
Yeah, but neither of those sound like something that will get you closer to a jet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what are you doing to
purely the networking with people in South by Southwest?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest opportunity. Like I said, like I'm envious of we have meetups here. I should go to them.
So a big thing that I've thought about, I think it was last week. Austin is filled with, like you said, venture capitalists, private equity people, and I have a close friend who used to work at a venture capital firm, and he's a young guy like me. I asked them, I was like, hey man, like how can I get in touch with these people? I'm like, they're actually easier than you think. Cold email them and get them on the podcast. So the plan for me is to connect with venture capitalists, angel investors in Austin, get them on podcast, learn from them, and build that relationship with them. And I think I got inspired. There's little birdie told me that that's how some of these other big podcasters that also do venture capital, like they have the podcast to build a relationship to invest in people. I was like, that's freaking genius.
Yeah, I'll sell that idea for sure.
That's what my plan is on that side as well.
All right. So again, we're a quarter through the year now. Like, what are you most excited about for 26?
The big thing is just living life.
Yeah.
But if you were asked the business, I know the business this year is going to be incredibly stable, right? Because I take all the lessons from the last 5 years and I apply it into this year, and I know exactly how I want to operate the company. I know exactly how many clients I want to have. I know exactly what my team looks like. I know what our P&L, I know what all of our numbers are going to look like, and it's just building towards that. That way I can allocate more of my time to the investing, I call it venture side.
Yeah. How many customers do you want to have?
I top out 60.
How about a 60?
I don't want any more than that.
All right. And again, if someone wants to connect with you, like what's the best way?
The best way is definitely Instagram. It's official Benjamin, and then last name is Hoang. You DM me there. I check it every day, multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day?
Yeah, multiple times
All right,
a day.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.